Then again, it will
But
be kind of hard for me to coach you because you're winning every game recently. So I don't know. It's kind of weird for you to for coaching, right?
That's the type I like. That's the type I like.
so when I started playing, I didn't even know what these numbers on the top means. I didn't know its level, right? I thought that you're just getting levels randomly and you just choose the talents, but I didn't know like what people mean, like, oh,
Okay,
they're a
okay.
higher level, and like, where do you see
You're in a
that?
pretty big win streak with Alexstrasza, so
Yeah, I actually love Alexstrasza, and currently,
Mhm.
I have a feeling that that's the hero which I'm at least kind of good at,
I
not
mean, you
maybe
you probably are
perfect, but
because you won like a lot of games.
yeah, I like to play supports actually. You cannot really change the game a lot, but
I think supports are one of the easiest ways to climb in lower rating because you're super consistent with them, and they're also not that hard mechanically to play, so there's less room to like do mistakes and stuff like that. And also a lot of people don't actually want to play support, so if you fill with support, most of the time the support in the enemy team will be pretty bad. So if you just outperform them, you're generally gonna climb, which is what you're doing obviously because you're winning a lot of games. Then again, it will
but
be kind of hard for me to coach you because you're winning every game recently, so I don't know. It's kind of weird for you to for coaching, right?
oh wait a second, I'm
Because
on the
generally, if you're winning every game, you just have to keep playing, and then, right? Like then you're gonna see if you start losing, maybe. Because it's kind of hard. Like if you're winning so much with support, especially like all these games in a row, you're probably doing a lot of things right, right? Okay,
I
towers
hope so.
again. It up right now. I mean, generally, if you're winning a lot of games, you're just bound to lose at some point. So it doesn't really it doesn't really mean that you played bad. You also have higher MMR than gold because you're playing with plat players. It looks like. Okay, I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah, I mean,
share
I
screen.
actually started pretty badly. It was at the start, I lost actually 4 games in a row when I started ranking, and I was actually kind of disappointed, and that's why actually I created a new account. So
No, you should never really create new accounts if you are doing well in your league.
because I thought that my MMR is messed up because I was again like in gold 4, and when I started playing, I was ranked like silver 4 or something. So I started really low when the this ranking
No, MMR doesn't
system
really
started.
matter on lower rating. Like generally, it's even easier to win if you have shittier MMR, because then you're gonna get. It's kind of hard to explain, but don't like this account you have right now. Like you, since you're winning a lot, you're playing against +5 players, so your MMR is higher than it should be generally for a gold player. So you're not really playing with gold players. Like most of the people on your team were at
Yeah,
+5, I think.
other account is platinum. I have both Hero League and Team League,
Yeah.
and that's the actually first time when I went. That account is just level 140 or so.
Oh no, I always mess up the camera. Okay. You go globes.
Yeah,
Right, this is the first thing, right? Like you're using your heal here. Generally, when your team is winning, when your team is pushing in, you want to use it uh, on the place where they're like diving and doing stuff like that. Especially if you have a heavy melee comp like yours. You have like Throw, Muradin, Dihaka. So this is a pretty good comp for Alexstrasza because generally your front line is gonna be walking in together and they're gonna be clumped up because they're melee heroes, right?
yeah.
So this heal, for example, here doesn't really hit them, which is, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, but you generally wanna do everything as good as you can, right? Even though this doesn't really matter here, it might matter in the end in other games or other situations. Like maybe in a different situation where you use your heal here, maybe that's the reason why someone on your front line is gonna die, right?
Yeah.
Uh, oh man, why does the camera always lock? It's so annoying. I wanna fix it. Okay, should be fine now. Okay. You also generally don't want to be ever solo laning with support, so if someone on your team leaves the lane, you want to ask them to either, one of your teammates to either soak, or you yourself, you just have to give up XP if the wave doesn't crash. Like let's say
Yeah.
here, let's see what happens. So you see here you're alone, right? And both of the supports are kind of split off from their team. Generally, your goal with support is just to just heal your team most of the time, right? So you don't really want to be stuck clearing waves. So if you get left out like this, like it's okay sometimes to soak waves with support if it's a huge wave that's crashing onto the tower, but if the waves are
I was
like
actually riding them.
Hmm?
I was actually
Oh, yeah.
riding.
Oh yeah, nice. Okay, then my bad then. I should just speed up maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't really know that, so can't really know that you're gonna do it. So I mean, you're doing the correct thing, right?
I didn't know as well. I actually I
Yeah,
just
you probably don't
I
remember.
just saw that.
Got off the haka. Yeah, this is really good, like riding, like before. But something else you can do. Actually, yeah, I guess it's as good as you could do it because you can't really make it shorter than this, right? Maybe you just remove the end just so you have more time to actually play the game,
Yeah.
right? This is what I do. Like if I want to say something to my team, let's say I don't want us to team fight because I'm like split pushing. I just write I either write 4v5 or I don't know 4v5 back. I don't know, stuff like that, right? I mean, you're doing the correct thing here. I'm just thinking of ways so you can minimize you typing. But yeah, this here is good. Tapping to your team. Oh, as a support especially, because as a support you don't really have to focus as much on your mechanics. Like generally you're just standing back and hitting people and doing damage, right? You're not really into the thick of things most of the time.
Yeah, I'm not very aggressive. I just usually standing back. I don't die a lot for Alexstrasza.
Yeah, that's great. Like not dying, I think not dying is generally the best thing you could do in HOTS. Because the more uptime you have with your hero, the more you're gonna be actually impacting the game, right? And also dying gives the enemy team XP, like your team might tilt, stuff like that. Okay, let's speed up. If you wanna ask me something when there's like downtime and not much happening, like feel free. If you have some specific questions.
Yeah, I mean, usually I struggle when there is, for example, no objective, let's say, and no camp available. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yeah, I mean, you just stay with your team and just try to push waves, especially with Alex, because she has a decent. I mean, her wave clear is not amazing, but it's still okay, right? So you can
Actually, yeah, it's okay. Sometimes I clear waves if there is no one left.
If I'm you here, I would just go to throw now so I can kill him. Yep, you just. Maybe we can even ping him to stay, but I guess it's too low anyway, so. Something else you can do with supports is if your solo laners are playing bad or if they get caught, and you don't really have to do anything around the map. Like let's say your team is fine here, but Throw got poked bot, right? You can just run up to him and kill him and then move back to your team. I do this on like Tomb, maps like these where it doesn't really hurt that much for you to rotate if your team is winning. Like obviously if your team is losing, you're gonna get cut off and maybe you're gonna get jumped on. Like being here is actually super risky because I think if the Butcher actually did the correct thing here, you would probably be dead if he just charges you earlier. Then again, it's only Butcher and Sylvana, so maybe they can't really burst you with the. Okay, you interrupt. That's good. Dragon Queen. Oh, something you can do with Alex. I don't know if you know that, but your cooldowns reset when you go into Dragon Form. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know.
So generally, you want to spam your spells before you get into Dragon Form, and then.
Maybe sometimes I panic and I just.
Then you just use it randomly. Yeah, it's okay, but if you play the game a lot, you're gonna get better at doing these things, and they're gonna help you climb as well. Because if you're generally playing super well at your role and you're not making any big mistakes, this is the only way that you're gonna improve, right? Like doing these small things, like mechanically. Because as you said, if you don't really die, I mean, that's the only thing you can do better. Okay, let's see. What is the cooldown on this thing? So here I guess you could have queued before you go into Dragon Queen, but it doesn't really matter too much because you used your W already somewhere, I think. You also use your Q just in time, I think, no? Yeah. Here, I think, did you heal yourself? Can you even heal yourself? No, you can't even do that, right? Yep.
No, you cannot. Oh, you only can do with the W. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you're stalling here, but you can't really do much since your team. I think your team won top shrine, so you guys are stalling here pretty well, so can't really do much else. You basically squeezed as much as you can here from this play. Like, look at your HP. You got away with like 10% HP, so you can't really get better than that. You get 2 shrines, you lose 1. Okay. I don't know why Muradin is still fighting here though. Like, what is this fight? Like, the Haka burrows bot for what? Like, I guess. I mean, they already capped their shrine.
Yeah, they were too greedy and they probably
Yeah.
wanted all 3.
Can't really help
So-
him either. Okay, let's speed up. Actually, here I would probably soak mid, because look at mid wave, right? Like, Nova's already here. Could have probably rotated mid. That's something else you could do a bit better. Because at this point, if you see this guy diving in here, and you see that there's no way that you can help him, you could have just rotated mid, and maybe you get closer to 7, right? Like, this wave would probably get you as close in XP as them.
Yeah.
And then since they're already showing pot, right? Like 3 people are showing, they can't really catch you off here if you're trying to rotate. Okay. So yeah, you wanna have good map awareness. Always be aware of where the waves are. I mean, at this point, you haven't really done any major mistakes, so I'm just looking to squeeze in like everything you could do to improve your chances to win. Sure, this wave doesn't really matter that much, but it's still something, right? Like, you're losing a bit of XP here. Especially as a support, because you can't really, like, queue people, right? Like, you can't do stuff like that. You can just heal your own team and then use your spells correctly. Okay. This guy's called Diablo, what? I guess you can't pick Diablo because they picked Diablo. No.
Yeah, I wasn't really aware.
Yeah, but this is not really your fault because you couldn't expect him to like jump in that aggressively, and then doing the camp is right. But again, you have to kind of micromanage your team, like, because you're the babysitter of your team, right? Like, even though someone on your team might be retarded, you are the one that needs to look over them most of the time if they're doing something stupid, right? So you doing the camp is correct, but you also want to be aware of like what kind of dumb stuff your team is doing as well.
Yeah.
Okay, you did the camp, which is good. But at this point, you guys are like 1 level behind. I think they got some pretty crucial kills. Okay. Is the screen okay, by the way? Is it like lagging?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's okay.
Just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, you use your spells again, you reset. Like, you're doing everything pretty well mechanically. Like, for a gold player, you're playing as good as you can mechanically on Alex, so I don't think you can do better, actually. Oh, here's something you could have done is probably Bodyblock, right? Like, you can see here. Since Alex's hitbox is super huge, you can Bodyblock people with her sometimes. You'll see here.
Yeah.
What I mean. You probably still kill him, but... Okay, let's see. It's kind of weird, because he queues over you, right? And then here, if you just... Something you can do here is, you can just press hold position, and then just right click or A click on Diablo and don't move. Because here, you can for sure body block him, right? You see, you're just moving away from him.
Yeah.
It's kind of lucky that he queued. I mean, it's not really luck, because he actually put himself there. But if you're winning the fight super hard like this, you can use your body as a support. You can use your body as a meat shield, like as a second or third tank. Because you guys already have a pretty strong front line, but you're pretty tanky yourself. Like, I don't know, your HP is probably higher than some of the tanks. Oh, you can't see it. You can't see it. No. You see, like, it's kind of bugged. It shows the
Yeah.
HP of everyone the same. But you probably have almost the same HP as your tanks, or even more when you have Dragon Queen.
It's around 3,000, it seems like.
Yeah, but it looks like it's kind of bugged because it shows 3,000 for everyone.
Yeah, but I'm telling by the bars.
Okay.
Because
Oh
one
yeah, you're
bar
doing maths. Like, how much is the one of the bar?
one bar is 1,000, so that's how it usually. As you can see, like Noah has like 2,000, and I have like 3, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter, but you see, like, you're almost full HP, so you could use your body aggressively. I think this is something you can do, especially on Alexstrasza, because you're super tanky. Like, you can just walk into an enemy team, bait out cooldowns and damage, and then you just give more space to your team to do stuff. And so here, the Bodyblock. I guess I should write down stuff, maybe. Just give me a sec. Okay, Bodyblock. And I'll send you the notes later. Bodyblock. Being aware of, I don't know, like, map awareness, waves, micromanaging teammates. What else did you talk about? Cool, I mean, you did the cooldowns, like with the Dragon Queen, Bodyblock, use your body more aggressively, sometimes you are winning as a meatshield. You know what a meatshield is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't really think of anything else we talked about. I mean, you're playing your hero pretty well mechanically. It doesn't seem like you're doing any mistakes. You're using your spells on cooldown. The second they come off cooldown as well. Oh yeah, the W, I guess. I get it. Sometimes you're using it a bit too farther back when your team is diving, right?
Yeah.
Feels like. I have to fix the camera again. No. Okay, it's fine. I hear your W had a good idea, like when your team was diving, but you wanna find the balance between putting it where your team is gonna be diving, and also not put it too far away from them if they're not going to continue diving. You know, so you wanna put it somewhere around the middle most of the time. Because here they didn't really commit to the fight, and then you lose the entire hero, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You wanna pre-tap here? This is pre-tapping here is fine, but you also have to make your team aware of it, right? You can ping them, at least try to ping them and do stuff like that. Oh, it was a nice try to OT.
Well, I tried to save him, but it was too late already, so.
This is actually pretty important because with Alex, and with supports in general, if you cock block a play like this is just a way that you can impact the game, right? Because the enemy team is engaging on someone on your team, so generally that's the only thing you can do with supports, and you have to be pretty precise with this, because if you miss the ulti here, you basically wasted your ulti, right? Especially just before an actual objective. So right now, not only did you not save the throw, but you also kind of wasted your ult, so it might even cost you the next objective. So if you're using an ulti like this, you want to make sure that it's gonna save the guy. You don't really want to throw it in hopes that it's gonna save him, but like, because here you're losing two things at once. Like, you're losing throw, but you also lost your ulti, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you guys are still in a pretty decent spot. Like, you were pretty far ahead in shots.
Well, we were, but this is the end of it.
Like, maybe this is where the game starts snowballing, because maybe someone gets caught now, and since you don't have your ulti, like, it might cost you a lot. Let's see if this is what happens. I'm pretty sure this is what happens, because you guys are trying to contest. Like, here, Again, this is what you can do with supports if you micromanage your team. Since it's 4v5 and Throw is dead, right? Like, is the Haka dead too? Oh yeah, the Haka is dead too. So at this point, taking the shrine here is as good as you guys, as good as it can get. Like, you shouldn't even be able to take this shrine, but the enemy team kind of donates it to you. So this is already decent enough for you. Like, you're already ahead, 36 to 24. You took one more shrine, and then you just have to give this one up. So if you are, like, if you know how the game works and you are playing support, you can micromanage your team, and you should tell your team to, like, just give up this shrine, because there's no way you guys get it. First thing is, Morden barely has any mana, right? Throw is bot for some reason, because I think he just respawned. You don't have your ult, so something else you can do is, like, just ping your team. Like, do you know how to ping your ult with ult? Right? Yeah. You can ping your ulti with ult, or just type something, I don't know, no ult, B, and then just, or just trade, I don't know, just trade shrines, stuff like that. Because at this point, you guys can't really contest the shrine. Like, there's way too many factors to take into consideration. First thing is, it's kind of hard for you to contest shrines against Abator, because he's gonna put mines around. Like, you can just, it's really annoying, right? They have vision in the brushes because of the mines. Usually, I mean, this Abator didn't really mine around, but this is what generally happens when you're playing against Abator on this map. Muradin doesn't have mana, so he's kind of out of the fight. He doesn't even have mana to ult, I think. Right? Yeah. Then again, also Nova is a really easy target in these kind of situations, because it's a really open space, and she's just a free kill for Abba, Butcher, stuff like that, right? She also gets revealed by the mines usually if she walks in these kind of spots. And at this point, you guys are already in a pretty good spot, so you don't really have to force anything. Like, I would say that this shrine should also be free for them. Like, you can't really contest even your own shrine, because the Haka is dead and Throw is bot. But for some reason, the enemy team is, like, I don't know, not in position to stop you from capping. So you wanna ping your team to not fight here for sure, because I'm pretty sure that people will die here. Yeah, everyone died here.
Of course, yeah.
At this point, also, if you ping your team to back off from here and they don't do it, you have to realize that you just have to leave them at this point, because you're also gonna die yourself, I think, if you keep staying here, right? I'm pretty sure you die as well. If you don't,
I'm not sure if here.
Okay.
But I definitely die at least once a game.
Okay, let's see what happens. No one dies. Oh, this guy finishes his quest? What? Oh man, 8 minutes. This is actually huge for you. Okay. I guess it's kind of hard for you to die with Alex because you're super tanky. They cap, they get 1 kill, and then your team keeps fighting for some reason. But Alex is so strong. What is that damage? What is your damage? 12k. It's okay, like, you have almost the same damage as... yeah. You did 5k more damage than Brightwing. 34k healing. You almost killed them here.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When you start healing the team, they kind of think that, well, we are fighting.
Okay.
Still, we are still fighting, but
Yeah.
like, I just try to save them, and they immediately turn around and they just go back to fight.
Yeah.
For example, the Haka, it's really unnecessary. He could run away so many times. And
at this point, the game will be really hard for you because Butcher finishes quest so early in the game. But again, like, I think as long as you're playing as good as you are, like, every game, which you are kind of doing, right? Like, you're on a, I don't know, you won 6 games out of 7 or something like that. You're just gonna naturally gonna climb, because it doesn't seem like you're doing that many mistakes. Like, the mistakes you're doing, like, super small. I don't even feel like at this point you even need coaching for your own hero. Like, you're playing Alex really well, so I think it will become harder for you as you keep climbing. This guy almost died to the avatar hat. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, and this fight.
Yeah, this fight is horrible because they are 13. Butcher finished this quest. Yeah, and Throw is, like, super out of the fight. Like, he's basically basing here, I think. No, but I mean, he's...
No, he just goes there and suicide. That's what he does.
Yeah, I can't really do much about it here. So I want to see here if you waste your ulti again trying to save him. Let's see.
I guess I did. You see?
Yeah, you see. So this is, I mean, this is not really your fault. Like we're just trying to minimize every little thing you can do, right? Because you're playing your hero pretty well. You can't really control your teammates, so you just have to think about what you can do to do as little mistakes as possible. Because this here, on one hand, it's not really your mistake, right? Like this guy just straight up walks into the enemy team and dies. But then again, also what you can do here with support in this kind of game when your team is just straight up like doing worse than the enemy team, you just have to minimize your own mistakes and pray that at some point your team is gonna play the fights better, right? This is what you generally have to do in Hero League sometimes when your team is losing. As a support at least, because you don't really have more control than you do. So here again, like if you save your ulti, maybe you could contest another shrine, because right now you probably wouldn't be able to contest bot 2. Then again, I guess sometimes it's okay to try to save someone, but you have to do it really fast. Like you have to be ready to do it on the spot. You have to have your click ready here. Just keep your fingers on the actual button, you know. But even then, it's kind of hard to do it. I think sometimes it's even better to not save one guy and just save the OT, because the OT is way too impactful on Alex. I think if you think about it, how much does it heal in total? 400 by 5, so that's like, I don't know, 2k HP or even more than 2k HP.
Yeah.
Around there, right? And it's also AoE, so it's like 2k AoE for 5 people with a clump up. You get like 10k healing, right?
Yeah, plus damage. I usually kill with that ulti, but here in this here in this matchup there wasn't really opportunity.
This game should be free win for your team. I don't even know how your team is inting, because if you have a triple melee by the way, I can heal myself somehow. I don't know how, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah, well, I have headset, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. I think it's fine now. So if you have a triple frontline, it's generally really good for Alex, because you can get really good heals with your ulti, you can heal them with W, and you can also damage their people that your team is going on. Because then you don't really have to choose between healing your own team or dealing damage to the enemy team, right? Because they're at the same spot basically. So this is a really good comp for Alex, but your team is, I don't know. I guess you guys were winning super hard early game, and your team just took this game for granted, like a free win or something, and then they started doing mistakes. Then again, you have a Nova, so I don't know. Nova is pretty bad, and also triple tap Nova. And she's also Russian. Suka bled.
Yeah, that's actually what I wanted to say. That Russian Nova is like nightmare.
Well, you are Slavic as well, so we don't hate on our brothers. Okay.
Yeah, brother. Forced. Yeah, kind of forced brother.
Yeah, I'm just memeing. Okay. At this point, it will be really hard for you to win, because Butcher has his quest finished. You guys are like 3 levels behind, almost 2 levels, I guess. And engaging here is horrible, because again, you don't even have 13, so...
And I'm not there even.
Yeah. You don't have your ult here. So you see here, if you had your ult here, like, look at how impactful it would be. Like, you would heal 3 people or 4 people, maybe this guy wouldn't die. Then they would probably stay up. Like, they wouldn't have to base, like, Nova has to base now, right? This damage. Okay, now you're running top. This is where you want to fight as a team, because they're not 16, so you have a pretty short timing window where you can actually turn the game around. And then your next window will be pretty far. Next window is so far away from being there, you know. They're gonna be 16, they're gonna have the talent lead for like 3 levels ahead. They're like 3 levels ahead, yep. So it's kinda hard. Speed up. Then again, it seems like live coaching with you would be pretty fun, because you're just maining one hero, and you're probably gonna be able to like take in all the information and give in the actual game that we're playing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would love to actually focus on support. It's nice to also know the other, you know, kind of roles, because the thing is that in Hero League, someone just picks Noah and they refuse to take anything else, right? Sometimes you cannot really choose what you want to play. They do not care if you want to
Yeah,
play support or whatever.
but then again, this is only one game, right? Generally, one good team with supporters, you're almost always gonna get your role, right? Because no one really wants to play support in Hero League most of the time. Especially on lower level, like no one really picks support. At least
Yeah.
that's my own experience. I don't know how it's for you.
I mean, it depends. On the low level, it's like sometimes you have 3 tanks because
Yeah.
no one wants to play assassin, and then sometimes someone tells you that, okay, I want to play support, but they choose like Lily, and that's not really good one, especially when you go against mages, right? She cannot overheal that, but I mean, I have to leave that because these people, I know that they would just choose it because they want, you know. And if you take support anyways, if you're first pick, the thing is that they will get offended. And
Yeah,
so on.
that sucks.
If you lose in any way, in that case, it's gonna be like, okay, it's your fault because they couldn't play support and they would do better support. And like, I mean, this low rank games are very toxic, kind of. So
No, it's just the same on any rank, to be honest. People don't really change as much. I mean, they do, but it's not that big of a change. Something you can try with Alex, as I already said earlier, is just like, you can try to bait out spells. If your team is doing bad, and you might even want to try to like walk into the enemy team sometimes and just force them to focus you and then use Dragon Queen. Might work, I think. Okay, let's see, like how to even lose this game. At this point it looks like it's okay, like you could probably still have a chance to win. This guy even walks in, what?
I think I will die soon.
Okay.
I'm sure I died, so, and I didn't die yet, but I'm sure I did.
Was your ult on cooldown? I think it was, maybe. Or maybe you were just not, didn't do it in time.
Maybe. I don't know why I didn't do it. Maybe I already gave up. I don't know.
Maybe you thought you wanted to queue first, or
Yeah.
you were trying to double
Or,
it.
or maybe I thought that they're gonna kill him. I don't know.
Actually, wait,
And
you killed him so little.
yeah, and actually I put W there,
Oh,
but
you walked
Bright
in,
Wing,
yeah, you walked into the double A and stuff.
you know, used the wind, and then I had no.
Yeah, I mean, this here is just a mechanical mistake, so there's not really much to say about that. It just comes with practice, right? Like you being able to use your spells faster. So here you could probably could have saved the throw. This guy's copying Diablo, what? I guess Butcher is dead, so they don't really have the greatest copy targets. Their comp is pretty bad. Diablo, I mean, Avatar can't really copy
But
anyone besides
Butcher
Butcher.
is a really bad copy as well, right? Because it's
Yeah.
not stacked one, right?
Yeah, but he does get a lot of auto attack damage and he can reset his auto attack and stuff. They don't really have any good copy, like who's he gonna copy then? I think all the copies are bad.
Yeah.
I think Butcher is okay because he gets one more CC, like you get the stun, then you can just reset your auto attack, you get a lot of damage. Like, because the ulti gives him like 20% bonus attack damage, it works on the copy, so...
He was always copying Diablo. Always.
Okay, this is a Fiesta fight, nice.
Yeah, it is. It was a horrible game.
I mean, you're not really making... The only mistakes you're making, generally, besides like... what was it? Like not soaking ones, then this Bodyblock is kind of advanced, like it's not really something that a gold player I would even expect to even think about, so this is like super advanced that you don't really even have to do, like you're doing pretty well just by not dying, right? Like look at your team, 5 deaths, 4 deaths, 3 deaths, Brightwing died 3 times, you healed like 2 times more than him. You also soaked more than him, and you have more siege damage. So generally, all you have to do in Hero League to climb, you just have to outperform the guy that's on the enemy team playing your role. So you're already doing that. So if you lose this game, you shouldn't really feel bad about it, because it doesn't really matter as long as you play enough games. Like losing one game, it doesn't matter, right? Because then you're gonna win 3 or 4 in a row if you're doing as good as you are every game like this. Like I think, like if I have to play Alex myself, even myself, I probably wouldn't do. Like I might die more than you and do less stats than you this game. I feel like, because I'm not as experienced on the Alex as you. So as long as you're doing as good as you are like this, you don't even have to do that much better than this to climb. Like you're already doing super well. But yeah, I'm just pointing out stuff because obviously, like, you want to get coaching. So
Yeah,
but
that's actually really great. I mean, I will definitely, you know.
So just keep in mind this, like whenever your team is doing so bad, like this game, if you are doing your job, and you can see it clearly in the stats. Like sure, stats don't matter sometimes, but they're also a pretty good visual representation. Because if you put them into context, like look at Brightwing's team. His team is doing better than yours, right? But he's still doing twice as bad as you are doing. Like he died 3 times, you died 0 times. He did less siege, less hero damage, less heal, like twice less heal and less soak. So it's just crazy. Like this guy should have double the stats of you, or like better stats than you, at least at some of these things.
Well, he should, I guess, have higher XP, right? Because he's global.
Yeah, and especially since your team is losing, like you're on the losing side, so he has more room to do stuff. So if you're doing fine in games, and you can see that, it doesn't really matter if you lose, because then if you keep playing, you're just gonna climb naturally. Okay. You tank the mines, which is good because you don't really care if you're low on HP. Okay. I guess at this point, they're just, how you lose the game is they're gonna hit 20, and then you guys are just gonna lose the team fight, and it's GG probably.
Yeah, we are going to be stomped badly.
So at this point, you're hoping that the next shrine phase is just one shrine. If it's just one shrine, you can just give it up and wait for 20, but let's see what happens. Your team wants to fight or something? Okay. Yeah, fighting here is pretty bad, because... But you can't really control this, right? Like, it's just your team inting. You get huge value here with the OT, but they're level 20, so... Here you could just pumping them to not fight. Even if you lose the keep, it doesn't really do anything. Like, sure, you're losing the keep, but... You're getting more time to get 20, and this fight is just hopeless because you guys are not, like, level 20 to 19. It's just, especially against Abba, they get the double head. Ah, actually, he took the upgrade on Ultimate Evolution one. That's so bad. Okay, you get a kill somehow. Hey, what happened with your Dragon Queen? That was kind of weird.
Brightwing again interrupted me.
Okay.
So. And now, no.
At this point, you are 20. That's good.
Yeah, but I
Then
think
again,
I die.
What are the level 20 upgrades for Alex? Do you know? I can't really think of them right now.
Yeah, I basically use the ult, and when I hit 8 targets, I get the Dragon Queen for free.
No, I mean, what are the other choices? Because at this point...
yeah, one is the blessing of the Alexstrasza, which is basically gives random, or whoever you choose, it gives plus 500 HP.
Oh yeah, so here for sure. Like, so look at my point of view here, right? You just use you used your ulti before you got 20, right? I'm pretty sure this is what happened.
Yeah.
And then as you are getting 20, getting the upgrade on the ulti here. This is a really specific situation, but I think it's correct, like what I'm gonna say here. I'm not sure, but we'll see how it pans out. But as you hit 20, this is like a pretty important team fight, right? I don't know what happens here. Maybe people die, or maybe they don't, but
everyone dies.
At this point, if you think about it, like what does taking the ultimate upgrade here do for you? Like your ulti is gonna be on 80-second cooldown, and your team is already fighting. So maybe if you get the extra HP here, it might help you win the team fight, right? Because it's really like this fight is really important. If you think about it, like the upgrade is obviously like really good. It's just by far the best, I think. But it doesn't really do anything for you here because you already used your OT just before the fight, just before level 20. So at this point, if you get the HP, you can maybe try to turn it around with the extra HP on someone of your carries. Okay. Or I guess you just win the fight, I don't know, I guess you don't lose it then. But I think even then, it's probably the correct thing to not take the upgrade. We'll see, maybe you guys get into another fight.
Yeah.
I thought you're gonna lose this fight, but I guess you just won it. Then you go do boss, which is kind of risky to be honest. But you get it, which is okay. Wait, do you win this game? It looks like you might win it.
Now we actually lost horribly. That's the thing.
What did Troll do? Like, you walked in so far up. I mean, you didn't lose it horribly. Like, this game was even. This game should be really. You shouldn't really feel bad about it at all, because your team was hitting at a lot of points in the game, and you still almost won it. So this just shows that you're doing a lot better than average. Because if you weren't doing your job, like, this game would be over in 10 minutes or like 15. Earlier than this for sure. Okay. You see, sometimes it feels like it takes you. Sometimes it feels like you're focusing way too much on something else, and you don't really. Like here, I think there was like a 3-second window where you could have used your W, right? If you think about it. So sometimes you're using your spells really well off cooldown, but here you're probably just too focused on the team fight, and you don't really pay attention to your cooldowns. Okay, let's see. You see here, as soon as it comes up, you can just use it here, like on the ground for sure. Let's see how much time it takes you to use it. Down to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You see that it takes you like 3 seconds to use it. So this is how you can improve with your own. If you're practicing one hero, this is one of the only ways that you can actually climb faster and stuff like that. If you play better mechanically, like if you do stuff faster. I mean, this is how you're gonna get to diamond and stuff like that, right? Because you're doing everything super well. Sometimes you're doing mechanical mistakes, like using your ult, trying to save someone, or not using spells in time. But generally, like, you're doing everything else right. Like, you're not dying. Like, you're killing your team for a lot. Like, you're soaking waves. Besides the first wave here, I guess. But that's okay. Yeah. You're also using your Dragon Queen pretty well. Okay, what is happening?
Here I pinged. I actually pinged.
Okay. Okay.
I knew that this is not going to end up well.
I think here you could have actually saved your team, but then again, the throw is dead. But if you don't really try to save them, you lose regardless. So it's okay to try here. You just have to do it quicker, right? You have to find the timings a bit better sometimes. When people get jumped on, you have to be a bit faster, like just slightly faster, because you have the right mindset, you have the right idea, but you can see your pings here, right? Wait, is that a separate heal as well? So you can use this and this. Let's see how you use it. Okay, use your W. Then again, you could have queued a bit faster for sure. Okay.
I use both heals.
But I think you use both. Yeah, use both when I think they overlapped, right?
I'm not sure because they do not heal much, and she was already at half.
Okay. So here you for sure should ult here, because if someone dies here, it's GG. Like they're gonna take way too much, and the game is over. So even though your team is over. So even though your team is doing a mistake here, it's not really your fault. Like, you're pinging them to back. You have to try everything to save them, right? So if you ult a bit faster here, like look at how much time it takes you to ult. Let's see again. I mean, you probably couldn't have saved them anyway, but you can still try, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't really know how they heal. 439 to nearby enemies. Okay. Yeah, I guess it works better on melees because no one doesn't have that much max HP. Okay. Okay, see, they don't really overlap because if they did,
That's healing glow.
yeah,
Yeah.
if they did, it would be over this, right? So it's okay. Like you did both of these things well. The only thing you kind of misplayed a bit mechanically is the OT because you OT'd a bit late again. But your two spells were fine because it didn't really overlap. Okay. Right now, I think as soon as he gets focused, you have to OT because Nova is way too squishy, and if you don't OT immediately, you're just gonna die through your ult. You see, like, if you ult it a bit sooner, maybe it would buy you a bit more time to get the other ult in. Like, maybe she wouldn't die at this point, right?
Yeah.
But it probably doesn't matter because Troll was dead and your team getting engaged here, it's just GG. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking
and
of
here
ways.
we all die, and here that's
Yeah.
where it ends.
And even if the Haka survives here, it's probably still GG because then you have to wait for the Nova to respawn. They're just gonna take way too much structures. I'm just thinking of ways when, like, when you're into the same situation and you actually have a chance to win. Like if you ult there a bit quicker, maybe it would impact the game, right? I think I don't know if you know what I mean, but
Yeah.
in this case, it doesn't matter, but it might matter in other games where you're in a pretty close team fight like this, right? And you don't OT like 1 second earlier. But this is like way too much expectation for you. Like you're doing super well already, so you're just playing this game so well that it just makes me think I expect even more of you because you're doing everything correct. This is the only way you can play even better than this. So. Yeah, this game was. I mean, I don't think you did that. I don't think you did that many mistakes. Like it's almost impossible for you to play better. So this game just doesn't really matter in the end. There's a few things you could have done better, but essentially they didn't really do. They didn't really impact that much. It's not like you like died at crucial times and then it's your fault that you lost the game, right?
Yeah.
Like look at the stats speak for themselves usually. If you're like doing better at every stats by far, at this point I feel like it's just gonna be a waste of time for you because you're already not at your peak. I think you're pretty far away from your peak. Like let's say you go to like plat 3 maybe, then you start struggling. Maybe then we could play so I can like tell you
Alright.
more stuff. But I feel like at this point it's just a waste of your time to for me to coach you because I don't really see like you making that many mistakes on your own hero. So and you're probably winning every game. You're gonna probably win every game. So
So, according to you, it is better to focus basically on few heroes rather than...
yeah, for sure. I mean, the easiest way to climb is just play one hero, as long as you're not getting bored of it. Like, you could see yourself, like, playing Alexstrasza and you win every game with her. I mean, you can probably do fine with other heroes as well, because you're playing your hero way better than people at your idol. But, like, what is your peak rating? How high have you gotten in Hero League, like, ever?
Well, on the other account, I'm plat 5 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm plat 4. Yeah.
How many games do you have played? I'm just curious.
Just few.
Yeah.
I just basically did placements and few more games, and that was it.
Yeah, I feel like if you play a lot more, you're just gonna climb even more than plat 4 or plat 5. Like it definitely feels like you're better than.
Yeah, I
people
think
you're
I should play more a bit. That's the thing that I kind of gave up when I lost 4 games in a row when I was in placements, and it started ranking me with Gold Force.
Yeah.
And I was kind of scared that I will go back to the silver. So
Did you play Alexstrasza only though? Like, did you play Alexstrasza in these games you lost? What hero did you play when you lost placement?
let me check. I don't know exactly what I was playing. Oh. So let me see. I'll check. Hero League. I was mostly playing Alexstrasza.
Maybe you went on a. I mean, sometimes it happens. Like I've lost like 9 games on plat myself, and I'm like GM. So sometimes it happens, especially if you start getting tilted. Like you lose motivation, you don't really feel like playing as much anymore, and then